Hello. My name's Bill Gibbons. And yes, that is red wine. Thank you for tuning in, you nice, kind, sympathetic people. The rest of this isn't addressed to you, it's addressed to those arseholes that are in power in local and national government that don't give a shit and basically told me over the last 24 hours to go kill myself. You're all fucking arseholes apart from a dozen of you. I had a reply from Julie Oven yesterday, I've just seen. And it's not a reply, she's cherry picked what she's going to answer in my emails. Again, she hasn't answered all my questions. She hasn't explained why she hasn't answered my questions. And Sharon Allen Kaby hasn't explained why I have to wait to the 5th for the reply. I am fucking sick and tired of telling these people that they have to give an explanation every time they answer a question. They can't just say no. Check the Information Commissioner's website. Check the Housing Ombudsman's website. I've set precedents years ago about all this. They are supposed to explain why. What's the point of having a fucking ombudsman if the council just fucking ignore what the ombudsman say? I lost my internet this afternoon and the first thing that went through my mind is the Anti-Terrorism Act, and someone in the Home Office has blocked my internet because I've got no one to turn to. I can't talk to the council, I can't talk to the police even. I dialed them 3 times this afternoon to try and talk to them. I couldn't even talk to them because the last bloke I spoke to this afternoon at the police kept telling me to speak to my single point of contact. Even though I told him I cannot do it, I'm autistic. I ended that conversation 30-40 minutes with the police. Casper, 30 or 40 minutes with the police, actually telling him to go and train yourself in autism, because telling someone to do something that is totally out of their character is hurtful. So he ended the conversation and hung up. So I've got no councillors, no MPs, no politicians whatsoever. I've got mental health support and the police come round occasionally. But fuck them, they're not the problem. I don't want the police, I don't want the counselling. I want politicians who I'm paying for, and I have paid for dearly over the fucking years in taxes and all sorts of remunerations. I want some service back from you fuckers. I want you to apply the law fairly, justly. I want you to obey the 2010 Equality Act. If you guys don't get it now, and by the way, Mind and the mental health team still haven't called me. Bunch of cunts. Mental health team not called me. Mind, supposed to be working for mental health and mentally disabled people. Bunch of cunts, not called me. No one's read my emails. Hardly anyone of the MPs have watched my videos. About 200 out of 650. All the others just blocked me. And what really pisses me off is they've blocked me without even giving me a decent response and telling me they're going to block me. It's like I can't be bothered. Waltham Forest Council has done that. The chair of one of the committees has done that. What am I supposed to do to get any sort of fair treatment on this fucking planet? I've got no food. I don't know what... I'm in that frame of mind where I can't work out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to lay on my bed for the next few days. Feed the cats twice a day and that's about it. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. I've already apologised to a couple of people that would worry about me if I went offline. But I'm going offline. And I don't know when I'm going to be back. No point ringing the bell. because that's off. The phone's going to be off. The laptop's going to be off. What's the fucking point? Waltham Forest Council are racist and discriminatory, and they do not obey the letter of the law. They don't even obey what the bloody housing ombudsman has told them to do. So what is the fucking point? Ian Duncan Smith, or anyone watching this that knows Ian Duncan Smith, give him a fucking rocket up the arse, will ya? He's got no customer service skills, no autism awareness skills. He doesn't give a shit about mental health, which he proved 2 weeks ago when he didn't appear in the chamber for the Mental Health Reform Act talking. I really don't give a shit about you cunts anymore. Yes, cunts. I don't give a fuck if you're offended anymore. I've pussyfooted around you cunts for years, decades, going back to when I was in my teens helping my dad. And no one gives a shit. Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of news articles about fucking Captain Tom or whatever his name is, dying. But seriously, should he have gone abroad, considering we're in the middle of a pandemic? I know there weren't any lockdown restrictions at the time, but considering the health of the nation would have been more beneficial for everyone. How many people did he pass it to when he came back? Fuck knows, it might have been the Brazilian bloody variant that he died of. Has anyone checked? So, mind, fuck yourselves, I don't want to know you anymore. You useless bunch of wankers. Ian Duncan Smith, you've got one chance, but I don't know how you're going to communicate with me because you don't like picking the phone up and calling me. And besides, my phone's going offline for further notice. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the weekend because my frame of mind at the moment is I'm pissed off with all you fuckers. Not one of you have pulled your fucking finger out and done something to stop this happening. I am not the only one like this. There are thousands of people like me going through probably worse than me. Thankfully, I've got the coherence to have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page so that people will learn fucking lessons if I suddenly die. My neighbours would be having a street party because they want me dead. The same with 400 fucking MPs that want me dead. It's nice to know that the people in charge don't give a fuck about mental health. Good luck, man, Matt Hancock, with your Mental Health Reform Act. I know you're going to get it through eventually, but it's not going to be easy with those fucking waste of space people you have to sit on the benches with. And thank you, Matt Hancock, anyway, because I watched your speech a couple of weeks ago, and it was the most endearing, touching speech I have heard in the chamber for a long, long time. Not many people get mental health like you do, Matt. Or Mr. Hancock, I'm sorry. But you obviously do have an understanding. And you come across as very, very compassionate, and I thank you. It's been a long time since we've had a health secretary that's understood mental health issues like you have. So thank you. You are a breath of fresh air, Mr. Hancock. And I deeply thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I wish you all the best of luck trying to get it through those fucking idiots in the chamber when 600 of them just blocked me without even reading my bloody email. Nice people to do business with, Matt. You've got an uphill struggle with the Mental Health Reform Act, I'm telling you. Please, someone, if you can get in touch with Matt Hancock, pass this video on to him because he's the top bloke. He's a top banana, as one of my ex-governors would say. I can't put up with you cunts anymore. Not Mary and Sasha and, well, Lita. They've been there for me. They've been the only ones there for me through all this. Oh, and my regular subscriber on the YouTube channel, Ms. Tour. Thank you very much, Ms. Tour. I don't know what to do. I can't put up with this much longer. Do I have to raise a complaint with the Housing Ombudsman every time that my council fucks up? Because I tell you what, there's not enough people in the Housing Ombudsman to actually handle all the complaints if I had to raise a complaint for every time. I would be raising complaints every time the council spoke to me. They are not customer service trained. At least they don't come across as customer service trained. If they have been trained in customer services, it would have been at the back street of somewhere in Brixton that they paid a fiver for. It wouldn't be a professional institution. They're not autism awareness trained. Oh, by the way, I must thank Gina Salina, one of the best counsellors I have ever known, if not the best. She's empathetic, she's sympathetic, she is... I can't criticise Gina one bit. She has done more than she's supposed to. I know that. You know that as well, Gina. And I don't expect any of the stuff that Gina does for me, and yet she does it voluntarily. She has been a star. If anyone deserves some sort of prize or New Year's honour, it is Gina Salina from the Nelft Mental Health people. Make sure you note that she gets an award next time the Queen's Honours comes round. Even though I despise the honours system, but while it's still going, give Gina a boost up, will ya? Because she deserves it more than anyone I have ever known. Apart from Mary Pridis, who should get an honour for all the good she does for saving cats and dogs and all sorts of animals voluntarily in her own time for no money. As for you 600 MPs that just blocked me, which, like I said in my email today, and I had to spend 4 hours working out how to change the email I was sending it from. Like I said in my email today, it was basically standing behind someone on the edge of a tall building and telling him to jump. Think about it before you block people. Just because you don't want the email, don't mean you shouldn't read the email. Parliamentary protocol doesn't apply in all situations. Ask the Speaker. If you've got any doubt when parliamentary protocol applies, ask the fucking Speaker, you knob! A dozen MPs contacted me personally yesterday. 4 MPs called me. None of them was Ian Sir fucking Duncan Smith, my MP for Chingford and Woodford. He doesn't want to come to the poor end. He wants to stick around Chingford and make sure no new houses are built on his little piece of green. Well, Mr. Duncan Smith and your office, Goldie Mitchell, what the fuck have you been doing for the last 2 years? You haven't called me once. You've emailed me a couple of times in the last 12 months. Twice. How many times have I emailed you? Why do I email you so often? Have you thought about that, you fucking Tory knob? It's not because I like upsetting you, or because I like spending my time emailing you, or because I'm in love with you and I want you to sort of like have contact with me. You're my fucking MP. I expect you to talk to me, you cunt. Communication is everything. I've told you I'm autistic. No one gives a shit, you or your office. Your office, I don't know who it was, probably Goldie Mitchell, but I don't know who it was, spoke to me on Thursday last week like I was a piece of shit. I was told, oh, Mr. Duncan Smith has emailed on your behalf constantly. 2 emails I've received from you. I emailed you in the summer asking for an FOI, Freedom of Information request, regarding all the information you've sent or received on my behalf. I was told last Thursday after I chased you, that MPs aren't liable under the Freedom of Information Act. MPs may not be directly liable, but if you're sending information on behalf of your customer, I think they've got a right to access that information. Am I not right? Or is Goldie Mitchell or whoever it spoke to on Thursday talking bullshit to get me off the fucking phone? Yes, don't fuck with me, because I've been studying the law for fucking too long. I shouldn't have to study the law to try and get things I'm due. I should not have to be a fucking solicitor because solicitors charge £300 and do fuck all. Yes, I've paid £300 recently for a solicitor that did fuck all for it. And I can't afford £300. Unlike you, Mr. Duncan Smith, I can't claim parliamentary expenses. I really do believe that you need training not only in customer services or autism awareness, but just in being a politician. Because all you want to do is suck up to the bigwigs and get little personal snaps on Facebook so you can make it look good for the PR. You're a useless fucking cunt! And now I've got thoughts going through my head that maybe someone in Parliament has assigned the Anti-Terrorist Act to me because I've emailed all the MPs twice in 2 days. Freedom of speech, freedom of democracy. Oh, hold on. I've just had what looks like a nice reply from one of the Conservative MPs. Mr. Duncan Smith, take note, will you? Let me have a look. Hold on a moment. Oh no, it's not as good as... He's telling me to contact you, Mr. Duncan Smith. You're a cunt. Have you ever called me once? Have I ever spoken to my own MP once in 3 years? No. Why, Mr. Duncan Smith? Oh, you're too busy in Parliament. You're not very busy in Parliament when the Mental Health Reform Act comes up, are you? You weren't in the chamber once to represent your constituents. I'm sure they will make contact with you again in due course. And it sounds as though the action they have taken, they're talking about you, by the way, Mr. Duncan Smith, would be similar to what we would do for our own constituents. I don't fucking know what action you've taken, Mr. Duncan Smith, 'cause you never fucking tell me! Right, let's put it this way, Mr. Duncan Smith. And I've got a funny feeling your name is Mr. Smith and you've changed it to Duncan Smith because it sounds more Tory. Let's put it this way. I would be quite amenable if you could actually apologise for your poor behaviour over the last 3 years and we can move forward. And that you will learn from your poor behaviour towards me. Because I'm quite frankly pissed off with all politicians now, apart from the dozen that actually took the time to reply to me. Be right back. Must have the other half bottle. I'm so fucked off with you people now. Politicians create rules so they do no work. I'm convinced of that, and the same goes for local politics. In Waltham Forest, there's a rule where you have to know the exact address of the person before you can put a complaint in against them. Well, that doesn't work in 90% of situations unless you see them go into their own front door, which you can't do if they live in a block of flats. So of course Waltham Forest have got no complaints on their estates because no one can put a fucking complaint in, you tits! I've been complaining about that since I found out a year and a half ago, and no one will respond to it. A bit like no one in the council will respond to my accusations about racism and whether it would be taken more seriously if I wasn't white. I'm sorry, they're supposed to answer all questions and explain their answers. Am I getting through to you cunts yet? Answer and explain. Ask the Housing Ombudsman. Ask the Information Commissioner. Ask the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman. Answer and explain. Not just give a fucking answer and push them off and hope they fucking go away. Answer and explain. And that goes for public servants like you, Mr. Duncan fucking Smith. I, if you can't guess, am extremely angry and extremely upset because I have no one I can talk to now. I can't call the police because after this afternoon's conversation, I feel they don't understand a fucking word I say. I can't call my MP because they don't return my calls. I can't call my councillors because up until yesterday I didn't know what their fucking mobile numbers were, and they don't return my emails anyway, so why would I call my councillors? I don't want to call my health counsellor because she does too much for me as it is. And I really don't want to call the police, not only because of what I've just said, but because they are already substitute mental health workers, and it's not fair on the police. And the few friends that I have got their own problems, and I don't want to trouble them either. The ones that should be looking after me are my MP and my councillors, and until they apologise for their actions and explain themselves, I will not even be talking with them. Do you get me?
Motion detected at the front door.
Yeah, we're in lockdown, but my neighbours are walking around all the fucking time. You tell me why there's so much activity out in my staircase if we're in lockdown. I don't give a shit anymore. I am going offline. I'm turning my phone off. I'm going incommunicado for as long as I feel. Because quite frankly, no one calls me and no one tells me the truth anyway. So apart from my one or two friends, which I've explained myself to already, and the 4 or 5 MPs that called me yesterday, you can all go fuck yourself. Someone from Parliament actually called the police out 3 times yesterday. Thank you, whoever you were. I don't know who you were, because the police didn't know. They just knew it was from Parliament. So thank you, whoever it was. I can't put up with this anymore. That's half a bottle of red wine. That's the second half bottle of red wine. Because I'm like this, I can't work out what I'm going to eat. So all I'm going to do is feed the boys and just lay on bed. I can't put up with this anymore. I've told Gina, thank you, but I won't be able to make the Thursday appointment. I don't know where to go from there. Now the whole of Parliament has abandoned me. And people like me. My MP doesn't give a toss, my councillors don't give a toss, the Labour Party don't give a toss, and the Conservative Party don't give a toss. It's just individuals that do. I feel sorry for those dozen people that have actually personally replied to me. Because they're stuck in a party political system that doesn't appreciate how good they are. Thank you to those 12 MPs. I hope I've thanked everyone via email. I've tried to work out what's an automated email and what's a personal response, and I replied to all the personalised responses. I hope. It's hard to say because there was, 1,300 responses, 2 emails to 650 MPs. I hope the Speaker of the House of Commons will investigate the attitude towards mental health and his MPs, and how easy his MPs are to block people when all they're after is assistance and someone to kick their own MP up the arse. I know Ian Duncan Smith ain't going to appreciate me for saying all this about him, but hey, he's never really enamoured me to himself because he's never really been customer focused. He's been more PR focused, in my opinion. If you want to get more votes, Mr. Duncan Smith, which you don't really need to, do you? Let's face it, you're in a safe constituency. But if you really wanted to win people over, listen to them and respond to them. Go on a customer services training course. That's an idea. Same as Waltham Forest Council. They're a bunch of cunts as well. Cherry pick questions out of emails to answer and ignore the rest of the email. For example, Julie Oven. You can push this to your own MP. Please. Julie Oven in Waltham Forest Council replied to me yesterday, I found out, about one thing I emailed her. But she wouldn't issue anything about why or what's going on about the racial and disability discrimination going on in her authority. You can't cherry pick emails. You have to answer the whole email and you have to answer it fully and explain your answer. Do you not understand, Julie fucking Oven? If you want to spam her, it's julie.oven@walthamforest.gov.uk. Send her my regards, will you, when you send emails to her? Julie, JULIE.OVEN @walthamforest.gov.uk. She's in the complaints department, apparently, and she only answers the complaints that she wants to. Which is why Waltham Forest complaints, when the national statistics come in, look so fucking good, because she and her colleagues are massaging the fucking stats. They're not recording all complaints. What they do with complaints in Waltham Forest. And Barking and Dagenham they used to. I don't know if they still do. I've not been there for 3 years. What they do in Waltham Forest is if they get a complaint in, they send it over to the department to decide whether it's a complaint or is a business as usual. Sorry, if it's a complaint, it should be recorded as a complaint. And if it's then decided it isn't a complaint, then there should be a reason why you decided it wasn't a complaint. You shouldn't just pass it over to the department I'm complaining about. Because it's like saying, oh, teacher, they're bullying me. And the teacher turns around and says, well, you ask them why you're bullied. Not really the appropriate response, is it? No. The complaint system is there, and it's been abused by more than one council. Your complaint system is there as a safeguard for the customer. Do you not get this, Julie Oven? You're supposed to be looking after the customer's best interest, not trying to protect your colleagues' back like you seem to be fucking doing. Oh, it frustrates me because I know how the system... I've done British politics and British law. I've studied it. I've looked at it for decades now. I am no one's fool, so don't treat me like one. I know the law about disability rights. I know what councils are supposed to be obliged to do, but they're not going to do it, to quote my housing officer or housing manager Junad Uddin, unless you go to the fucking solicitor. Why should general people go to solicitors to enforce the rights that Parliament have laid down to protect the individual from overpowered people in local authorities? Why? Someone answer the why on that one. I dare you. It's a bit like the email I sent today. I actually added in, why do public bodies have private phone numbers? I haven't gone through all the emails yet because my internet got disconnected for 2 hours. I'm not even sure if it's up at the moment. I'm recording this, so this is not going out live. So I'm not sure if it's actually working. But I wouldn't put it past some MPs, including Ian Duncan Smith, to treat me under the Anti-Terrorism Act because I've sent 2 emails. 2 fucking emails, man! What the hell am I supposed to do? I've had a life full of shit from people like you. I am not going to put up with it anymore. I've had bullshit answers from bullshit people for decades, and I cannot put up with that anymore. Do you get that, people? It's a nice murder. House of the Devil. I'm scaring my children. Meet my children. Tabs and Caspi. And I refuse to scare my children because they're my children. I know you see them as cats, but to me, they're the most loving, affectionate animals on the planet, and they understand me more than most people do. Mind don't return calls. Ian Duncan fucking Smith never returns any calls. My counsellors never return any calls. My council refuses to return any calls on a non-private number. Even my doctor, my own fucking GP, Handsworth Medical Practice, London E4, refused to answer either my emails or my phone calls. And for the email addresses, I got them off the Nelft website. Public information. I've put it up on the Aldrich Way website. And they refused to answer it on the grounds that I'm not an NHS email address. Hello? Where's the sense in that? You're answering an email saying you're not going to answer the email. Handsworth Medical Practice, fuck you. You're talking to an autistic person, I will literally read into it exactly what you say. If you reply to a non-NHS number, you could just have replied to the question I sent you, couldn't you? Not saying, oh, we can't give out that information because it's not an NHS number. That's bollocks. I don't give a shit who's upset by this video. That is bollocks. I worked for you for 3 years. Yes, don't forget, people, I worked for the NHS in Waltham Forest for 3 years. I know their systems like the back of my hand. I know what emails they get. I know what emails they reply to. So when the practice manager tells me that's bollocks, I've told Gina, my mental health caseworker, thank you but no thank you. I'm not going to make the Thursday appointment. I can't give a fuck anymore. Why should it always come down to the mental health people when the real problem are the local politicians, the council, the MP, the councillors? I shouldn't see why the local mental health people should be overwhelmed with people like me who just need people in authority to talk to them reasonably. Please tell me if I'm doing something wrong here. I'm trying not to be so fucking offensive, but when you've had, more than half a bottle of wine, and you've had the life that I've had, I'm 54 next Monday, and all I've done for most of my life is be terrified of my parents, well, my father, because my mum died when I was 6. I was terrified of my father. My brother and sister were ashamed of me and kept picking on me. And basically I've been bullied and intimidated most of my fucking life. And no one in control has done fuck all about it. Social services in Barking and Dagenham made my life worse when they got involved. They didn't give a shit about how I felt. They just wanted to tick the fucking boxes. Not enough. I wanted my MP, John fucking Crudders, to investigate Barking and Dagenham for malpractice. Because there was malpractice and racism going on back there. And now I've moved to Waltham Forest, there's the same fucking shit going on. Racism against white people is not investigated at all. I had a good conversation with the police in my area this afternoon, and they wouldn't answer why the racism allegation against Waltham Forest Council wasn't being investigated. They did say they were going to contact an officer to contact my mental health caseworker, who was not contacted, and no one called me back either. So you're too fucking late, you fucking cunts. I have literally had more. I feel worse today than I ever have. Because out of an island of 70 million people, I'm here by myself. The MPs have rejected me. The local council have rejected me. The local council are bullying and threatening me. And no one does fuck all. I don't know where to go. I really don't know where to go. I really do hope that Ian Duncan Smith, my MP, and Georgina Salina sees this. She's in Nelft, by the way. You can look her up on the website. She's contactable via the Nelft website. I can't be fucking arsed with trying to send this out to people that don't really appreciate the fact that I'm going through misery at the fucking moment. No one gives a shit. Oh, and my battery's wearing down on my phone. I really don't know what to do now. I have literally, as Shelter would testify to, I have tried more than Shelter would try. I actually did things that Shelter weren't aware of. Well, when people like the National Autistic Society and Mind don't call you back, what are people that are ill, like me, supposed to fucking do? I can't keep shouting at you fuckers all the time. I really can't. Just because I look okay from the outside don't mean I'm okay on the inside, people. It's alright, Highland and Hymes Park or wherever the fucking section's called. I'm not going to kill myself. I promise I signed that piece of paper saying I wasn't going to accept medical treatment. What's the fucking point in accepting medical treatment? I'm taking tablets now, which my doctor hasn't even told me what I'm taking them for. New big white vitamin tablets, I think they are. He hasn't even told me why I'm supposed to be taking them. My doctor, Hyams Park Medical Centre in London E4, won't even talk directly to me from a non-private number. Do I get my point across? Non-private fucking number! I have been saying it for years now, and I'm sick of saying it. By default, all public servants and people that have contact with the public should use non-private numbers. Even the police. Because quite frankly, they get more feedback using non-private numbers than they would if they were using private numbers. And maybe they close a few more cases. Because there's an awful lot of people like me that cannot take private calls because of anxiety. And so instead of taking the private calls, the police send units round when it could be resolved over the phone, wasting more fucking police time. I am fucking fed up with this, I really am. I've been going through the mill for decades. I started with my dad, helping him appeal decision against him, which, the European Union found in his favour after he died. Fan-fucking-tastic. He tried to claim widower's benefit. But because he was a man, he couldn't claim in this country. And the European Union found in his favour when someone else took it all the way to the European Union. And they said it was discriminatory. Well, my dad, or his estate, never got a fucking penny. Even though he claimed it back in 1975. No one said, oh, Mr. Gibbons, here's the money that we owe you from 1975. No! When the European Union decided it was okay, it was only okay from that fucking point on. There is no historical you should pay these people. Maybe my dad would be alive now if he'd received the award. Because, and quite frankly, I think my dad only died because he was too fucking skint all the fucking time, trying to raise 3 kids on hardly any money, when a woman in the same situation would have got a 30% increase in the money. But no MP wants to look into that. John Crudders in Dagenham suggested I watch the VHS about a car crash or something. It was called. That's as much as I got out of John Cruddas in Dagenham. He's another cunt. He didn't understand autism or mental health or anything. Can someone just explain me out there, why do I always have to chase people for replies? Why can't I just call someone and hear they're going to call me back and they call me back? Why is it I can't trust anyone to call me back anymore? Oh, I know the answer, don't worry. Because you're all fucking cunts and you don't return calls on non-private numbers. Oh, I don't know. I've not had any dinner. All I've had is egg and bacon sandwich for breakfast stroke lunch. And I can't even be bothered to think about... I'm getting all these platitudes from stupid fucking MPs that aren't reading the email. Yeah, shall I have a look? See how many people... Hold on. Let me get the phone. Hello again, you fucking cunts. Let's start the phone up and see what response I've had to me YouTube video from yesterday. I still think only 200 MPs have actually seen it. And out of those 200, I don't think a lot of them actually saw it all the way through. Sorry, it's going to be a long one. I'm going to have to leave this uploading all night, I think. No one gives a shit. Sorry, Mary. I know you do. You've been through enough yourself, Mary. I can't really call on you all the time. So let's have a look at YouTube, shall we? Now we've got a little bit of internet access back. Yes, I know you're running out of battery. $309 views at 650. So I take it back. 350 odd of you MPs are fucking useless wankers. It's not 600 or 400 like I thought it was earlier. 309 people have seen my videos. I'm assuming 9 people are the ones that subscribe to my channel, and 300 of you are the MPs. And out of that, let's have a look. Out of that, just have a look. The average audience attention is less than 3 minutes. It was a 15-minute or 12-minute video. So most of you MPs haven't seen all of it. I really can't put up with this life anymore. Just because I've got cats to keep me alive, people don't give a shit I don't give a shit about you cunts either now and then. And I don't swear very often, but I seem to be swearing an awful lot on this video. Does anyone want me? Oh, I've got an MBE emailing me and the doctor emailing me. I really don't give a fuck anymore. Most of you MPs, most, not all, most of you MPs are a fucking waste of public money. You should be sacked. No one gives a shit about mental health or autism or customer focus. And quite frankly, if you don't care about me, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you. I've had enough. Decades of this I've had. It has worn me down. Because people in the public gaze do not answer direct fucking questions. The last time someone answered a direct question for me was when I was in the 6th form. And we had a prospective Conservative candidate in Dagenham, in my school. And I started the anger off by asking them, well, why did you put Billingsgate Market just outside of the Docklands Development Zone when they could have benefited the most from being within the zone? Oh well, they were all jittery about that, Conservative they were, strangely enough. And then the rest of my 6th form started on the back of my question. And they said to my 6th form my 6th form teachers at the time, please don't ask us to come back again. Not while these students are here. So I've not really been liked by MPs, since I was in me teens. Because being autistic, I will ask you fuckers questions that you don't want to answer. And if you don't answer them, I will keep repeating the fucking question until you do. Eventually, if I'm in the right crowd, the crowd will be behind me. And you will be jittery. If I'm not in the right crowd, if I'm in a bunch of your friends, it won't make me jittery. It'll make me angry. I'm going to end it there because I'm fucking pissed out of my head. I've not even had the second half of the bottle of wine yet. Oh, sorry, people. I'm going to go lay down for half an hour or so. And pardon me. And try to look after my cats as best as I can when I'm fucking stoned out of my fucking head. Because no one in this fucking country gives a toss. I might not come online until the weekend at the earliest. Because what's the point? I can't give a shit about you cunts anymore. Because none of you give a shit about me.